Happy Tuesday, everyone, whenever it is that you are watching this. This is our week together. Next week, I believe you will have our Pastor Haiti, and she will be live next Tuesday. So, just a few announcements before I share a story that I want to just share with you guys today. So, what are the announcements? This Thursday, we continue on with Romans chapter 14. So we'll continue on with that chapter, which we've been having heavy discussion in reference to that chapter. It's a good discussion chapter. So we'll continue reading that on Thursday, and then this Sunday, I don't have my notes. This Sunday, I believe, is our Fellowship Sunday. So we can look forward to Fellowship Sunday this Sunday. So I'm going to read a scripture with you guys, but before I read a scripture, I want to share a story. Bit of a funny story, but a story nonetheless. So, and this is a personal story. So last week, today is Tuesday. Yeah, it was definitely last week. Last week, maybe Monday of last week, I get a text from my landlord, and they were saying, "Oh, remember we wanted to do some construction in your bedroom. We just needed to make a door through inside my bedroom, a doorway, because they didn't have access to the electrical board. It's not easy access anyway to the electrical board. So and they had mentioned this a month ago that they were talking about doing a doorway or possibly a closet there so they can have easy access to the electrical board. So they tell me on Monday, "Oh, remember we had told you this a couple of months ago, the guy is going to come tomorrow being Tuesday." And I was kind of like, "Oh, okay." I mean, obviously I wish I had a little bit more notice, but no big deal. They said, "Oh, it'll take a day. The guy will be here around 7:30 in the morning, and he will be done." I forgot what time they said, but it was going to be a day's worth of work. So I said, "Okay, no problem." Prepped, I moved everything out the way where I knew the doorway was going to be, and that was that. I get a call the next day at work. "Oh, this was Tuesday. Oh, actually, instead of doing just the door, which they kept saying it's just going to be the doorway there, we're actually going to do a closet, and it's going to take 3 days our work to get it done. And he's going to continue on today. It'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yes, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday it was going to be." And I said, "Well," I said, "wait a minute." So first of all, I'm off from work on Wednesday. I had appointments and things I had to do on Wednesday, so I was going to be home. So I said, that's going to mess up my plan. So that's going to be an issue. And I think that was the only thing that I mentioned a concern about. And she said, "Okay, no problem. I'll talk to the guy and see if he can continue on Tuesday and then work on Thursday, Friday, I believe it was." So then I get a text later on, "Yes, no problem. He's not going to work on Wednesday, and it will be Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, but he might have to come a little bit on Saturday, and he's going to work from 7:30 in the morning, and he'll be leaving between 5 and 6 in the evening." And I had told her previously, there's days where I get home between 2 and 3 o'clock. I'll work from home the rest of the day those days. And Thursdays, typically, I work from home for those days. So now my entire schedule is now having to be disrupted. I wasn't given the notice that I was supposed to be given. You're doing now major 3 days worth of work. I can't be in my place because this work is getting done. I had really no notice. I'm inconvenienced at this point. And I mentioned that. I said it in text. I said, "Listen, it would have been nice to know that this was going on ahead of time." And the response was something along the lines of, "Sometimes things don't go according to plans." That was the text response that I got. And I responded back and I said in the text, respectfully, "I should have known ahead of time that this was going to be done, but okay." I get home that first night That was a Tuesday. I believe that was a Tuesday. I get home, and it's construction. There is drop cloths all over my apartment. There's tools. There's the workers' coats. There is tarp and stuff all over my bedroom. There is a huge hole in the wall. I mean, again, this is construction being done, and there's dust everywhere all over my apartment. So at this point, I'm annoyed. One, I expected the workers not to be here when I got home, and they were still here. And without belaboring and making a long story short, this continued on for a few days. The first night, that Tuesday night, I didn't even sleep in my bedroom. I just, there was tarp, there was dust. I said, I don't even want to sleep in there. So I slept in the living room. And I kid you not, sleeping in the living room, I was looking up hotels. And I was this close to booking a hotel for the next couple of nights. That way I didn't have to be here while all this construction is being done. Now, I'm saying all of this construction, I want to appropriately put it into perspective. It was only being done in my bedroom. But of course, you don't work like that. There's going to be dust everywhere. And the workers are walking through, and there's, the cloths over the floor. It was construction, but, it was being done. So needless to say, I was very annoyed. And not only was I annoyed, I was inconvenienced. I had to change my schedule because of what was getting done. I was getting home later. I wasn't able to work from home on Thursdays like I like to be able to do. It was an inconvenience, 100% an inconvenience. Finally, the work was done as of Friday. I think Friday, late afternoon, I received a text to say that the work was done. Okay, everything's done, apartment needs to be cleaned and all that stuff and whatever, it's done. So I get home and I walk into my bedroom to see the work that needed to be done. And I don't know if you guys caught it when I said it in the very beginning, and I'm hoping that you didn't, because I didn't catch it really either. What they had said was, or my landlord had said was, instead of putting just a doorway for them to get through to be able to get to the electrical board, they were going to put a closet. It wasn't even, what's the appropriate word? It wasn't clicking, that's the word. It wasn't clicking for me that they were putting a closet. So what I mean to say is, there is now an additional closet in my bedroom. Not a small closet, a big, wide, I forgot how you call those, the doors that open like this, the two that fold or whatever. It's like what I have in my living room. I have an additional closet like that in my bedroom, and I already had a closet in my bedroom. So now I'm able to put storage in there, to put coats in there, whatever I want to put. It wasn't necessarily what I thought I needed, but it's great, and I'll be able to utilize all the space. Okay, why did I share that entire story with you? Well, I shared it because, last time we got together on Tuesday, we had spoken, no, not on Tuesday, on Sunday, we had spoken about process and things that go on, and sometimes we're unaware of what's happening in our life, but we have to learn to appreciate the process and appreciate that we don't always know the final plan and how things are going to work. In my story that I just shared with you, I was communicated with, and the time that I thought would be an acceptable amount of time to communicate with me with what was getting done. And I was being inconvenienced. My schedule had to be changed. I was frustrated. In my frustration, I was considering spending additional money and completely changing my plans, which in hindsight would have been a waste of money. I ended up staying here and I was absolutely fine. But unbeknownst to me, that process was necessary because I ended up reaping a benefit or a blessing through the process of what I went through. Now, I'm using it as an example. We can all agree that, of course, I should have been communicated to that this was going to happen, but just kind of put that to the side for now. More generally speaking, these are things that can take place in our lives as well. At the end of the day, we know the greatness and sovereignty of God. We do not always know what he is doing. We don't have the master plan. But our purpose is to trust that he has a master plan. And there can be seasons that we go through in life where we feel inconvenienced. We feel like we don't like what's happening, the things that are going on around us. But it's important for us to pray for grace and patience because we don't know what's on the other side. I want to read a scripture. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 11. And it says, in the Amplified, he has made everything beautiful and appropriate in its time. He has also planted eternity, and the Amplified says a sense of divine purpose in the human heart, a mysterious longing which nothing under the sun can satisfy except God. Yet man cannot find out. That means to comprehend or to grasp what God has done, meaning his overall plan from the beginning to the end. His ways aren't our ways. And if we're waiting to understand everything that is going on in our lives, it isn't. Our responsibility is to trust, to follow, and to obey. And recognize in the times where there may be frustration and we don't necessarily like what's going on and we're seeking God, what is happening in my life? Just seek him and say, Lord, let your will be done. And through this season, I pray you grant unto me grace and patience as I wait for your plan to be revealed. And during that waiting period, and during that process period, God, that you would teach me, that I wouldn't make foolish mistakes. Consider the foolish mistake that I would have made leaving for 3 days and spending, I don't know, $600 or whatever it may have been for a hotel. When now, this just happened last week. What is it now? A funny story. All it is a story of something that happened. But what is in that bedroom, that closet, that'll remain forever, or for forever long as I am here. I'll be able to use that closet and for storage and for whatever it may be. But the couple of days that I was inconvenienced, all it is a distant memory. And that's what it can be sometimes in our lives. We can make a big deal out of certain situations. Lord, in those situations, pray, God, teach me, mold me, make me more like you, that I would appreciate this part of the process. Well, I pray that this ministered to you all this evening. I look forward to seeing everybody on Thursday. Love you all. Have a great night.